What's up, everyone? This is Kyle, coming to you from the Horrorphile reviews. Today I'm going to be doing something special. I'm really excited to start doing these as much as I can. I was invited, I actually asked Mood616 if I can join in on these because I really enjoy his and a lot of the other guys that are posting their Top 10 Tuesdays. So I'm going to join in and start doing some Top 10 Tuesdays every week. I'm going to try to do, one every single week for the most part. We got a lot of them already planned out, but today I'm going to be starting, and it's actually a really cool topic I'm starting with today. Something that I kind of got into a while back. When I first kind of got into horror movies, not really when I first got into them, but when I got back into them, I was really big on horror movies when I was younger, and when I was in high school, I started kind of getting back into a lot more horror movies, and I actually leaned more toward the extreme movies, like movies that are just like out there, like horror movies that are out there. And I got my top 10 picks of extreme movies today, so extreme horror movies. So that's what I'm going to go with. Now, what I wanted to do with my extreme horror movies, I didn't want to. In my definition, there's extreme horror movies and there's just gross out films. I wanted to stick to strictly movies that will make you kind of think and are just really, really weird and really just creepy to think about. For instance, I got Abola Syndrome. I actually just watched this probably about a month ago, and it is a insane movie. I did a review on it on my channel. I really liked it a lot, and I wanted to just stick something up here. I'm trying to do something kind of like Moods does. Sorry, Moods, just trying to get the feel going right here with the title screen. So without further ado, I'll kind of get started. And like I said, these are my top 10 personal picks. There's plenty out there. These are ones I don't own 2 of them. I'll go ahead and put that out there. I didn't really think that'd be a big deal. I've seen the 2 I don't own, but I just don't own them myself. But I'm gonna throw them on there. One of the ones that I don't own is actually kind of hard to find. So, but cool. Without further ado, the first one I got here is a movie that I just saw a couple months ago for the first time. I actually picked it up off of eBay. It's a really fucking weird movie. It's called The Bunny Game. I don't know if you guys could see that. But basically, this movie, it's about a prostitute that gets abducted by a truck driver and tortured in the back of his 18-wheeler. I mean, it's definitely a horror movie. It's very creepy to think about that this stuff kind of probably does happen a good bit. It was a very interesting movie. It wasn't like the best movie in the world, but it did have some really good scenes of torture. Had some really good, crazy rape scenes and some crazy, blood, guts. It's pretty extreme for what it is. I mean, some of these movies that I based off of were just people coming into, the horror genre and then seeing movies like this. I think some of these movies are really, pretty shocking to see right off the bat. And this is definitely, if I don't watch these movies very often, I would think this was really, really shocking. Kind of on the extreme side. So this movie is pretty good. I mean, it's directed by Adam Raymer. I know he's done other things. I'm not really sure what he's done. This is just the normal DVD version. It's definitely an indie film, a really very independent film. You can tell it was made for little to nothing. I know that the main girl that's in this movie, I'm pretty sure she was an actual prostitute. And I know this movie was based off of something that actually happened to her. So the actual story in this movie literally happened to the actual actress in this movie, which is really, really interesting to me. But yeah, I mean, if you get a chance, pick it up. It is The Bunny Game. So that's my number 10. Number 9 is a French film that I really, really enjoyed. I've always enjoyed this movie. I think it leans on the extreme side because it has a fuck ton of gore. And it's honestly a fucking good movie. I mean, if you are really into these kind of movies, I think it's a fucking awesome movie. I mean, I don't really judge too hard on certain movies unless they just fucking suck, but this movie is actually really good. It's actually one of the 8 films to die for the After Dark Horror Fest. It's Frontiers. I fucking love this movie. I really, really love this movie. I actually got one of my buddies to watch it after I watched it for the first time. He fucking loved it too. It is a French film, so it does have subtitles. It is dubbed. But it is fucking awesome. I mean, it's got a very good storyline to it. The characters are really good. The acting's really good. It does keep you on the edge of your seat throughout the movie. There is a shit ton of gore and like blood and like crazy shit that happens. It kind of reminds me of the Texas Chainsaw Massacre because it is about a family of like sort of cannibals. Almost like the Texas Chainsaw Massacre, but instead of they're cannibals slash Nazis. So I mean, I really fucking enjoy this movie. I mean, it's definitely a rewatch movie. I could rewatch this and really enjoy it. So yeah, number 9, Frontiers. Check it out. You can get that movie for like $3 on eBay. Number 8. I actually don't have number 8, but number 8. I'll talk a little bit about it. Is Grotesque. It's a Japanese kind of shock movie. It is a horror movie. Basically, there really isn't much of a storyline to it. I actually watched it without subtitles. I read the synopsis on, I want to say on their Wikipedia page or IMDb page about what it was about. But I couldn't find a version with subtitles, so I just watched it without subtitles. You really don't need subtitles for it, to be honest with you. But basically, the movie's about this couple that go on a date for the first time. They get abducted by this crazy doctor, and the doctor starts like doing all these crazy things to them, like cutting off their arms, cutting out their eyes, cutting off their limbs. It could be considered a gross out movie, I guess. I mean, I think it's kind of horror. It kind of like it falls in the horror genre because it's extreme to the point of what it is. I mean, people think about getting their legs cut off and their arms cut off and all their limbs, and then he actually keeps them alive until the end, and takes care of them until they actually recover. It's a really fucking weird movie. I love Japanese movies. If there's something you gotta know about me, I fucking love anything Asian cinema. I fucking love it. Like anything horror Asian cinema is fucking, I love it. I will watch that shit all day. But yeah, it's really creepy, really weird movie. Check it out. It's Grotesque. It's Japanese. The number, what am I on? 10, 9, 8. I'm on number 7. Number 7 movie is another French film that I really enjoy a lot. This is probably could be higher on my list, but I'm kind of ranking these movies as my personal, and I'm also kind of ranking them in when they came out, how kind of extreme they were to other people as well. But my number 7, 10, 9, number 7 is Inside. It is a French horror movie. There really isn't much to say about this movie. It's just fucking crazy. Like, it's about this girl at the beginning of the movie. She gets in a car accident with her husband. She's pregnant. She loses the baby, and then she gets revenge on the person that I don't want to ruin anything, but it's basically a revenge story. A ton of blood. Like, I mean, it's like a splatter film. I mean, it really is. It's almost like, it could be Tokyo Gore Police is out there, but this is like the more toned down version of Tokyo Gore Police. But it's still like insane. There's a freaking forced abortion in it. There's rape scene. I mean, there's pretty much it goes to the extreme. It is dubbed. It did come out, I want to say, back in 2008 or something along those lines. I don't remember who directed it, but I've heard a couple of you guys talk about it several times. Checked it out, really liked it. So, pretty good movie. That's my number 7. Go ahead and jump into number 6. Is a movie that I've watched probably 3 or 4 times. I really, really like. I know this movie gets a lot of shit by a lot of people, but I mean, I fucking like it. I mean, it's I want to say this is a French movie as well. Pretty sure this is a French movie. But anyway, it's Martyrs. This movie does get some shit. I mean, some people say it's kind of like stupid, over the top, but it's pretty extreme, man. I mean, I've watched it 3 or 4 times, and I've watched it with some friends, and we all like it. I mean, I honestly don't think it's that bad. I mean, I will definitely go on a limb and say it's not the greatest, but it pretty much crosses all boundaries. It's got a woman getting skinned alive. It's got a woman getting beat the fuck up by her torturer. It's got a woman getting raped. It's got it's got children getting abused. It pretty much doesn't have any boundaries, and it is pretty horrifying. I mean, it's got some scenes in it where the main character is like seeing this girl, well, this I guess monster, and the monster's pretty creepy looking. And then there was a scene where they went down in the basement of the house they were in, and they found this woman that was like chained up, and she had been chained up for a long time, and she was malnutrition, and she just looked fucked, man. It was creepy as hell. So I mean, it's wild, man. I would definitely recommend to check out this movie. This was directed by who was this directed by? Richard Grandpierre, I think that's the director. Oh no, Pascal Laugier. I probably butchered that name, but it's directed by him. Sad thing about this is they're coming out with an American remake, which is probably gonna fucking be shitty as fuck. But hey, at least it's a good enough movie, I guess, to make a remake. I probably won't watch the remake because I don't want to ruin it. Because I really do like this movie. I think it was a pretty damn good movie. So yeah, Martyrs number 6. Number 5, this can be considered extreme. I considered this movie extreme because when it came out for the first time, I'm pretty sure that no one had ever seen some shit like this. I mean, it still to this day creeps me the fuck out. I mean, I can watch like anything you throw at me. I just don't, I mean, I get creeped the fuck out, but like possession and like demonic shit just really fucking creeps me out for some reason. I mean, I'll be one to say, and it sounds fucking like I'm a pussy, but whatever. I got creeped out by Paranormal Activity when I saw it. Whatever. I fucking hate that movie, but it creeped me the fuck out because shit like that just, you know, fucking creeps you out, man. I mean, just demonic possession and shit. This movie is The Exorcist. This is the original Exorcist. This movie's awesome. This is a fucking amazing movie. I think Moods and them had this in their top 5 of the most influential movies in the last 50 years. It's pretty extreme back in the day when it first came out in the 70s. You know, it has like a ton of cursing. It's got a ton of just like crazy scenes, like creepy shit, like her going upside down the stairs. You know, this is one of those movies. My mom is like 60 years old and she fucking loves this movie. I was raised Catholic, but you know, she's always been like really big on like religious movies, like weird religious movies, and she like loves this movie and like movies like Stigmata and shit. But this movie is still creepy to this day. I mean, I don't care what you say, it fucking creeps me the fuck out. But it's awesome. I definitely recommend it. It definitely deserves a spot in the top 10 in my opinion for being extreme for what it was when it came out. And it's extreme for me. I mean, I still to this day are creeped out by this movie. So anyway, that is number 5. Let's see what I got. What was that, number 5? Yeah, let me see. 10, 9, 8, 7, 6, 5, 4. Yeah. So number 4 is going to be a movie that I don't have the original version, which could be considered, you know, is extreme. I don't really like fucking rape revenge movies. I mean, I don't think they're bad. I like rape revenge movies. Don't get me wrong. This is probably one of the better ones. I just don't watch them very often, I guess. It's not that I don't like them. I just don't get to watch them very often. I don't see a lot of them. This one was pretty extreme. I fucking don't. I mean, me and my brother watch these movies. He doesn't like rape shit. I don't give a fuck. I mean, I don't care. I love like revenge movies in general. I just don't. I haven't seen a lot of rape revenge movies, but this is the remake. It's the only one I own. I don't own the original. I probably would have put the original on here, but this is pretty extreme because I don't think anybody really saw this when it first came out, and it was pretty extreme to most people. The remake is honestly pretty fucking awesome. I mean, I think the remake is really, really good. It's I Spit on Your Grave. This movie came out in, I don't remember what year this came out in. I want to say a couple of years ago. 2011. This is the remake to the original 70s movie. I would probably, like I said, if I owned the 70s one, I probably would have stuck it on here. But I figured, I mean, whatever. They're both pretty much the same storyline. Both pretty brutal. I mean, it's about this girl who's a writer, and she goes into the woods to write this book, and these dudes are there and rape her, and then she has to get revenge on them. Fucking love these movies. I love the first one and the second one. I actually got the second one up here somewhere. They're both really good. I think they're coming out with the third one. I don't know, it might be kind of pushing the limit though. But yeah, this is a great movie. This is number 4. Number 3 is probably going to be considered kind of generic. I love this movie. I don't really care. I think it was extreme. When I first saw this movie, I was like, it was a mind fuck. I was like, at the end, I was like, there's no fucking way this ending is about to happen right now. Like, it was one of those movies that, like, jaw drop, hit the floor. You're actually really, and it may not be considered a horror movie per se. I consider it like a horror or extreme movie because of the content in it. It's very bizarre, and the ending was just, I was just like, whoa, really? That's just fucking nuts. It's a Serbian film. I know this movie gets shit too because everybody knows it, but I fucking love this movie. I think it's an awesome flick. It's very well made. I love the guy that plays Milos in this movie. I think he's an awesome writer. I mean, an awesome actor. And I actually think he wrote and directed this movie too, I want to say. Yeah, no, he didn't write and direct this movie. The writer and director was Srđan Spajovic. Probably butchered that. But their names look very, very similar. But anyway, awesome movie about a porn star who basically he's out of porn. He's doing one last movie to support his family because he wants to get out of it completely. And they sign him on, don't tell him what it's about, and it's just fucked up shit, man. There's rape in this movie. There's a scene where they fuck a baby in this movie. There is decapitation. There is drug use. There is extreme violence. There is child rape. It sounds very, very bad, but if you watch it, it's, for most people, if you just come into horror movies and you just check them out, you'd be like, damn, that's fucked. But I mean, when I saw it, I was floored at the end, but the rest of the movie wasn't as bad as they make it out to be. But Serbian film, number 3. Number 2 is actually the movie I got pulled up right here, which is kind of dimmed out now, but it is Abola Syndrome. Abola Syndrome is probably one of my favorite movies now after watching it. This movie is fucking crazy. I did a review on my channel of it. I watched it for the first time a few weeks ago. Dude, it's fucking nuts, man. If you have not seen this movie, I highly, highly recommend checking this movie out. It's got Anthony Wong in it, who was in The Untold Story. He's been in a ton of things. The reason I consider this a horror movie, it's considered Asian horror, is because it is pretty horrific. I mean, there's a ton of just... This movie has no boundaries. This movie literally has no boundaries. This movie came out in 1996. I picked it up because I've heard a lot of good things about it. Watched it. It's about 2 hours long. It's got subtitles. You can actually watch this movie on YouTube. It's actually uploaded to YouTube, so if you don't want to buy it, you want to just watch it on YouTube, recommend buying it, but, if you just want to quickly watch it on YouTube, you could. But it's about this guy that murders his family and flees to another country, flees to Africa, and starts working in a restaurant. And his boss's wife is mean to him, so he goes nuts, kills them, and then he got Ebola from rape. The storyline. If I explain this, you guys will be like, what the fuck are you talking about? But he got Ebola from raping an African tribeswoman who had it, and he starts spreading it. This movie literally has no boundaries. Like, there is a rape in this movie. There's even a rape picture on the back of him raping the woman. There's a rape in this movie. There is disease. There is infection. There is murder. There is child murder. There is decapitation. There's a scene where he chops up bodies and makes hamburger patties out of them that have Ebola. This movie just does not hold back at all, and I fucking love it. I love this movie. I will always say this is probably one of my favorite movies. This is a definite rewatch. So number 2, Abola Syndrome. I don't want to spoil any of the rest of it for you. And my number 1 movie, Top 10 Tuesday for my first one, Top 10 Extreme Movies, is my favorite movie of all time. The reason I picked this movie is because when this movie came out, I know it's extreme because the director got put on trial for it. It has, all kinds of fucked up shit in it. Definitely one of my favorite movies, or definitely my favorite movie of all time, is Campbell Holocaust. I need to upgrade this to Blu-ray. I know Grindhouse came out with a really cool Blu-ray of this. Need to get that. But this movie is, I would consider this the most extreme because, and it's probably not the most extreme to me anymore, obviously, because I've seen all kinds of different things. But when I first saw this movie, I was like, fuck, what the shit am I watching right now? I was like, this movie is just fucked. It's got rape, it's got cannibalism, it's got you know, people on fire, it's got people getting their dicks cut off. I mean, it pretty much goes all the way. This movie, to me, is probably the most extreme because it's been banned in like every country of the world, I want to say before. It's been banned in a ton of them. It's still an amazing film. I mean, it's, even though it was banned and you know, Ruggero Deodato got put on trial, or he got to speak for, you know, the actors in this movie. They thought they actually got killed. This movie is just, it's great. I mean, there's no other way to explain this. I think most people would consider this an extreme movie to this day, and that would never, you know, that haven't really seen a ton of horror movies. I still consider this probably, even though it's from, you know, a long time ago, to be one of the more extreme ones. So, or the most extreme one, just because of its reputation. So that's it. That's my top 10 Tuesdays. Let me know. And before I go, I got two here that I wanted to give honorable mentions to. I didn't put them in my top 10 because I didn't really think, one of them is not really a horror movie to me. It's a documentary. And the other one, it is a horror movie, but I think it's a little too over the top to be on this list. The first one is Aftermath. Aftermath Genesis. Aftermath mainly being the one that I was talking about. It's a horror movie about a guy that's a mortician fucking corpses. It's pretty extreme. I don't think it's as extreme as most of these movies on my list, but wanted to mention that. And the other one is a Massacre video release that I watched and was kind of grossed out by. It's not a horror movie, it's more of a documentary, but it's definitely on the extreme side. And like I was telling you earlier, it's more of like a gross out movie, is Orozco the Embalmer. This movie's pretty fucked, so I mean, yeah, it's pretty crazy, pretty brutal. It's about an embalmer in Colombia that actually shows embalmings and people getting cut open and stuff. But anyway, leave me some suggestions, leave me some comments and stuff in the comments below. This is my first one. I'm going to try to do one every week. There are some topics that I may not be able to do, but I'm going to try to do them every week. I really enjoy doing this, and I appreciate Moods letting me do this, and all the other guys in the group. And if you have any comments or suggestions or anything you want to see me review in the future, just let me know. And until next time, see you guys later. Take it easy.